going to find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races. Only
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
But I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's just like dropping. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race 2.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry.
Hello everybody and welcome to the NASCAR Super Series live from Pocono. It is round 4 of our championship here as we step now into the second half of our new season. 3 rounds to go, including the one that we're at here tonight, and some very long circuits to come indeed. We were at the very short oval style of Bristol 2 weeks ago. We're not going to see a race like that again. It's going to be 2.5 miles or more around here for the final 3 rounds of the JPB NASCAR Super Series here for this season. My name is Ewan alongside Dean Biggles here for this round of the championship, and we'll be bringing you all the action to the very end of the season. 3 rounds to go now, Biggles. It's really getting down to it and it's getting interesting. 3 big circuits though to end off the season in what's going to be a very different race to what we saw at Bristol 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, welcome you and welcome everybody into the chat as well. Certainly we'll try oval on this one. And speaking of the culprits at B, the Gladiators, there is your current championship standings if you'd like to go over, please.
Yep, Ian Stitchbury leading the way with 103 points ahead of Jordan Wenzel, just 7 points in it. Tortola there as well as Ryan Hyatt as well, and we're expecting good things from him here tonight if he does indeed appear. I'm hoping so. Can't currently see him in the session, but we'll hope so. There's Viggo Dodson Lear, and it gets pretty close back here. Paul LeMay and Sergio Della Cruz are on the same point. So are Roberts Murray and Tim Perry. Cole Jacquelet rounds out the top 10 with Jack Worrell. Then it is Alvaro Vasquez Garcia who took the win last time around. He's just ahead of Kim Andre Bjorklund with David Vegg, Paul Clark and Nicolo Fornacciari rounding out the halfway mark of the field. Joe Mel is just a point ahead of Mikey Pollard, who's here again tonight. Kev Eilert and Paul Hurley round out the top 20. Mark Worrell tied with him. Kyler Leo Ivanov is in 22nd ahead of Chris Max Davies. Then it's Michael LeMay and Robert Woodward to round out the top 25. Jason Hale and Matt Barnett is 26th, 27th. There's Jamie Bird, Mac Barnes and Peter Palassa to round out top 30. Zoltan Demi and Adri Garcia to round out the 32 that have taken part this season. Unfortunately, Adri Garcia hasn't scored any points so far this season, but it was Alvaro Vasquez Garcia who took the win at Bristol, and what a win it was as well. A great race, I've got to say. Thoroughly enjoyed it. 85 laps of action, and it was clean and green for most of it as well, which was the encouraging part, and a great finish as well. Thoroughly enjoyed our time at Bristol 2 weeks ago, I've got to say. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a very different race at Pocono.
Certainly will, as the drivers at the moment are weaving their way around. Of course, it's a practice session. They're having some fun, no doubt about that one. Tim Perry's had the most fun in the practice session with 52.63. And once again, remind everybody know, of course, that this, we wouldn't have the Super Series for this, and the Nazareth Super Series, of course, here at the Poncho. I said that on twice. Well, why not? Because we have the iLoungeRacing.co.uk, and you want to represent, let everybody know what you can get if you sign up to that join that website and have a look at all the goodies that are available.
Yeah, exactly. Get into the YouTube description and you'll find iLoungeRacing.co.uk, and you visit their website today. A big thanks to them for sponsoring this JPB NASCAR Super Series, and they have been with us for the entirety of the season. Thanks to them, of course, for coming on board. The practice session just coming to an end, and someone's scraping down the wall for whatever reason in celebration, but we'll be getting into qualifying very shortly as a result. It will not be half an hour as we've just seen for that practice session. It will be just around 5 minutes, and everyone will be out there on their own, of course. It's a long lap around here, but there is a fair amount of skill involved. It's not going to be like the qualifying that we saw at Daytona and we're going to see at Talladega. It is a 2.5 mile circuit, but there is plenty of challenge around the 3 turns. turns of Pocono. All different bankings, of course, and degrees of banking on all 3 of the turns, which means that this is a very dynamic racetrack and a very interesting one to drive on.
Well, once you take us on board there and give us an explain of what you're going to have to fight at the Tri-Oval at the moment here, and you see we're going to be going on board right now. Tim Perry, he warms up his way around the track there. Leave the conditions. The sun might be smacking you in the face right now as you're turning into the corner. Really really fighting this machine at the moment, isn't he, Ewan?
Yeah, just waving around to get tyre temperature at the moment, but yeah, that sun may be a problem. Thankfully, though, it's sort of midway through turn 2, which does help you a little bit, and it's not quite in your face on turning there, which is really not what you want. But Tim Perry making his way up to the line now. This will be his first lap time of the day, and he will begin having finished just around 10th position in that opening session of the day. In towards turn number 1. Banking here 14 degrees. It's the steepest of the turns, but it's a real switchback here. It's also the tightest of the turns, which requires that banking. And then you'll get into the 8 degrees of banking through the tall turn of turn 2. Sort of revving it out highly in 4th gear, actually. Surprised he didn't start for 5th there, actually, Tim Perry, but just keeping it in 4th. Flowing through there, getting close to the wall again, and now through the very flat final turn. This is just 6 degrees of banking. Really feels like a Martinsville sort of New Hampshire style turn at the very end here, because it's not quite all the way around. It's not got 180 degree switchback, but it is a very flat final turn. Tim Perry makes his way over the line to go to the top, actually, but we did see timed in practice as quick as in the 50s, so I wonder how much quicker we'll be able to go in the second lap here of this qualifying session.
One man you want to keep on right now is the man in the championship lead here, Stitch Perry, of course. He can get, if he gets himself up at the top of the timesheets, which he usually does, he can start running away at that championship, leading on, 107 points, I think it was. So you don't want to let this number 22 machine run too far with a limited amount of racing to go in season there, Ewan.
Yeah, so Tuller has gone into 3rd place there in the 90 car, but already back to pit lane. Jack Werrell as well has already gone back to pit lane. It's going to be Kim-Andre Bjorkland, I think, over the line, along with Paul Clark and Tim Perry, who will be first. Although they're greyed out on the screen, I do believe they still got time to give here. Paul Clark goes over the line. Actually does not improve, but Tim Perry does. A 52.5 from him, and so he goes that little bit quicker and goes to the top of the standings. There is Jordan Wenzel, who's only gone into 3rd place in the 81 car. He's going to be next over the line. Sergio De La Cruz goes over. Jan Stitchbury goes up to 2nd place. Good time from him. Garcia up to 3rd. De La Cruz does improve. He will go into 4th position. It will be Pat Seaborn up to 13th next, though. He's got one more lap to go at the end of this one. Mark Werrell up to 11th. It will be Vegard Olsen-Lear over the line next in 15th position. At the moment, just over a second off of Tim Perry, who's currently leading the way. And Olsen-Lear gets up to 14th position with that improvement there. And so Pat Seaborn is going to be the only driver left out there to maybe improve here, having completed just one of his 2 laps permitted.
Yeah, come on, Paddy, get in there, my friend. Yeah, you almost got to scrape that fence. You got to, almost like a tank slapper. Easy in, easy out. That's the apex. Don't go too low. Hit the yellow line too much. And then on the loud, ease it up a little bit. Loud pedal, see, climb up to 160s, give or take close to 170. And there it is, bingo, my friend. That's your lap done. Remember, it's lone qualifying, so I don't see anybody else on the track. You versus the track, you versus the clock.
It's Seaborn up to 8th position out on the circuit. Now, Mac Barnes hasn't gone out on the circuit for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but doesn't look like he will be taking part in this qualifying session because there's only 30 seconds remaining in it now. Sergio De La Cruz is continuing on, but he's just getting that little bit of extra practice in, and so he won't be able to improve in reality. 40 laps here tonight. There'll be 40 laps in 2 weeks' time, by the way, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when we go for our penultimate round of the championship. So that should be a fun one as well. But those 2 circuits, pretty similar really, in that they're very long tracks and they're not exactly built for NASCARs entirely. But we will be making use of them for the next 2 rounds of the championship. Let's take a look now at the starting grid. Starting, of course, with Tim Perry, who's on the front, ahead of Jan Stitchbury. Then it'll be Alvaro Garcia and Sergio De La Cruz. Paul Clark and Jordan Wenzel are on row 3, ahead of Tortula and Pat Seaborn.
You're
to
right.
round out row 4.
Keep going.
Then it is Jack Werrell and Mikey Pollard to round out the top 10. Andre Björklund and Mark Werrell on row 6. Mark just a couple of positions behind Jack in the battle of the Werrells there. Chubbo Mel will be 13th, ahead of Carl Jacquelet. Then it'll be Vegard Olsen Lear with Stuart Pearson. And Jason Hale and Mac Barnes will round out the 18 drivers. And I do believe that Mac Barnes will actually get going for this one. He didn't qualify, making me slightly fear that he wouldn't race, but it does look like he will.
He'll have to be at the back of the grid, and of course what we're going to do this run around to switch it off is that they're actually going to start from a standing still start right here in pit road. No, they're not going to do it. But quickly, we'll take a very, very short commercial break. You better kick up the butt, of course, butt kicker, get that gear.
Welcome back to Pocono for round 4 of the NASCAR Super Series here this evening. And it will be Tim Perry and Jan Stitchbury getting us underway from the front. It's getting serious now in regards to the championship. Stitchbury's leading Jordan Wenzel by 7 points. He's got 13 over Tuller. And unfortunately, with Ryan Hyatt not here, I think it will be between those three for the title. But we've got Stitchbury in a great position on the front row here for this race at Pocono.
This is when it starts to get a little bit more exciting to the end of the season. You might see a couple of cautions, let's say 40 laps of it. What do you think? I mean, because drivers now are really starting to itch it. You've got a ton of drivers, of course, in that championship. We'll pull that up probably if we get a caution again, so you can go over how close they are points-wise, as that safety truck's going to be peeling its way into the safety zone very soon there and allow these drivers to get on with it. Tim's in a great position. Stitchbury, of course, needs to keep him close so he can keep his championship dreams very much alive and very much in more of a commanding lead.
So pace truck pulls into pit lane and will be ready to go racing for 40 laps here at Pocono. Tim Perry will be in control of the field at the restart zone, and we are green here at Pocono. 40 laps of racing in round 4 of the JPB NASCAR Super Series underway as the 18 cars pile down into turn 1. We've got 4 wide, in fact, in the midfield. Tim Perry takes the lead in the 83 car. It will be Stitchbury in second place ahead of Garcia. It's the battles further behind where the action is, as 4 wide single files out and gets into double file a little bit further back. It's a clean start through turn 1.
Yeah, we're getting 4 wide already. That's slicing and dicing already. Look at the gain there for the 65, trying to get a little slip seam on the side there. The 24 gets pushed up the wall. Now where to go? Gets a nice toe from the 90. Still no change from the leaders. But you mentioned this is the hot zone. This is where it right is in the mid-pack.
It's the end of an opening lap. 50 seconds round here, roughly, of course, about 55 on this opening lap. And Tim Perry is going to lead the field around as it gets single file here at Pocono. Stitchbury in second place, ahead of Garcia, then De La Cruz. Tuller is in 5th, then Jack Werrell in 6th position. Battles are further behind. It's a big slide there from the 78 of Pat Seaborn, and this will be the problem around here at Pocono. How loose are you with this fixed setup, and how can you deal with that over the course of the race? As this is going to be a fairly long race in terms of the tyres, especially if there's a long green flag run.
And that's Kim up high to the wall as it gets to tuck in behind currently at the moment. That's the 89 machine. That's Paul Clark in the 24. Clever and wise to do it. You've got plenty of laps to go there, gentlemen. You don't want to be seeing the old tank slapper anytime soon, would you there, Ewan? Perry's still holding on. Stitchbury, of course, he's got a bit of a gain there to Stitchbury, but Stitchbury is well aware that he's in a good points playing position. Still plenty of racing to go. And they are taking it nice and easy, Ewan. That's what I like. No real gambles just yet.
And that's probably the way to do it here early on. And it's a great start for Tim Perry. The only worry you'd have with an early start like Perry is having to get out to a second lead after just 2 laps and a half is in wearing through his tyres particularly quickly, because on fuel, I think these drivers might be able to make it the whole 40 laps. I don't think you want to do it on tyres though. So if you do go out too hard too early on the tyres, then it could be a very long day for you later on if you go off a cliff and you start falling backwards.
You don't go off any cliffs anytime soon, but your tyres will fall off the cliff. That's the terminology you were mentioning, of course, yeah. The 4 most important parts that contact the track that you have to take care of. Regardless of how quick of a driver you are, it's also about tyre management that makes a great driver. They're the ones that you usually see at the end of the season winning championships, or at least in the top 3 championships, so we'll see it all pans out. Bit of a battle brewing currently at the moment here for around P4 position there, Ewan.
Yeah, it's a good battle back here. Stitchbury is not quite involved in it, but he's in danger of getting pulled in. Garcia in the orange 15 car is just up ahead, but the one really under pressure is Sergio De La Cruz in 4th position. Then it's Tuller in 5th and Werrell in 6th position. All very close battling through here, but this is somewhat the problem with Pocono. It's difficult to race these NASCARs around here. It's not quite like racing an IndyCar where the slipstream makes a huge amount of difference. It's a little bit different, although Garcia seemingly getting a good run off the final turn to maybe have a move here.
Yeah, you're teasing me of IndyCar again, aren't you? As IndyCar's back and forth in I was going to say Formula 1 back in iRacing. And of course, we all know what's coming in iRacing very soon. The juicy and the very lovely rain. Of course, you're not going to see it on these oval tracks. You're going to see it in the other categories of racing. But at the moment there, see Tim Perry way up the road, really. And this is the battle down the road here. You saw the Japanese driver putting great pressure. Wheelie set up inside here to 15.
Interesting, different lines to see through turn 2. Only 8 degrees of banking, of course, and even then you can see lots of different lines, especially here at this flat turn of 3. Garcia seems to get a maybe later apex here and a better run onto the straight. Look at the exit he's got this time. The 15 car is going to be almost alongside before the line here, and he's going to get to the inside for turn 1. Here comes Sergio De La Cruz as well. Not quite willing to make it 3 wide into turn 1 because it is only lap 6 of this race, but Garcia to the inside looking for second.
Yeah, they get a gamble. They have to hook up, and big power slide in the background. Who was that? On the dark cloud livery. They're starting to join this party. This is giving Tim's a big smile on his face, of course. He's about to take another turn while these drivers are starting to enter in currently at the moment. This is Spicy Dicey. That's also Sergio on the 7 on the outside. Has to tuck in behind Thor, of course, our Japanese driver on this one. Jordan in the background, and Jack. Jack's gained 3. Thor's actually gained, 2, and Thor's gained 3 on this one. Stitchbury still holding off that pressure. And, well, that's why he's leading the championship. Oh, tank slapper in the wall.
Close for De La Cruz. He very nearly found the wall there on the exit of 3. But he'll be under pressure now from Jordan Wenzel, who made up a position over Jack Werrell after his slide through turn number 1. Wenzel will look to the insides. They all run a very high line now in towards turn number 1. The highest of them from Stitchbury, actually, as he's looking for the run off the corner. That will leave Werrell just wanting a little bit in terms of his exit onto the straight here. Now in towards 5th gear. He does grab for 5th gear for the second turn. It's interesting to see now with these next gen cars the different gear selections, because in years gone past, pretty much every year prior to 2022, we would have seen 4th gear around the entire circuit, because they were only 4 gears. You just bang it in the top gear and you're fine around most NASCAR tracks, but not anymore. There's something to think about. And Jordan Wenzel now gets on the outside of De La Cruz in towards turn 1.
Yeah, he's up to 5th gear as well, too. You mentioned that one. Good catch on that one. That's why you one of the nominated commentators of the year there for the VCO Awards, because, nothing slips by there, Ewan. As Sergio tried to Jordan tried to slip past Thor. Shut the door on him at the moment for the number 90 machine.
Yeah, so this is a good battle for second position overall in this race, with Tim Perry racing away to a lead. Did Stitchbury get the wall there, or was he just
he did
wide out the corner? Yeah, he might have got the wall, and so Garcia will get down the inside. It shouldn't give Stitchbury too much damage, actually, but it will lose him a place, or will it? Right round the outside he goes, and he hangs on.
And look at that race leader, Tim Perry. Probably just don't even worry about that one. Driver is to drive Drive to Survive, of course. Netflix bringing out another season of that one coming up very, very soon if you want to catch that. But at the moment, catching the leader of Tim Perry is not an easy job. Stitchberry is holding on, actually, even with a little bit of a tank slap. But these cars are pretty strong. They can handle it. Not like an open wheel car, so you get further action at the back. Lose your front end plate and you're in big trouble.
Yeah, De La Cruz losing a place to Werrell in the group. So that's the 65 car now into 6th position in this race through turn 2 that they will go. Garcia looking for the move into turn 3 here. He's very close to the back of Stitchbury but can't quite do it on this occasion. He will have to stick behind, look for that run off the corner, look at the correction he has to make, almost steering the car with his right foot rather than with the steering wheel on the exit of the corner there, just to try and catch a slide. But Tuller will have a look to the inside. Will Garcia be brave enough to have a look? No. Stitchbury's done very well so far to hang on to this 2nd place.
Yeah, well, that's once again the reason why the man's leading the championship, because he can handle the pressure. Further back in the field there, the other drivers are still swelling. Now, I think there was a switcheroo, actually, it was, between the Norwegian drivers 11th, 12th and 13th. They switched to Mark, I think, is slotting between them P12. But we can't take our eyes too far down the field because you know what happens. You look away, you blink and you miss it.
Yeah, Garcia getting close again, but the last time he got to the inside of turn 3 it didn't work for him. And so he's just following Stitchbury here. He's realising that this higher line is a bit better and he will switch back to the inside now. Will he get the run off the corner that he really needs? He's got to be getting careful of Tuller here, who's now alongside, but surely won't be making a move here into turn 1. He's got the slipstream as Garcia. He should be okay. And everyone has in the outside line, and so Tuller's going to be under a bit of pressure here from Jordan Wenzel. They're all sending it in towards turn number 1. Great racing here at Pocono as we get through the first quarter of this race. Sideways, loose race car on the inside for Tuller, I think it was. And now Wenzel has gone through. Jack Werrell will as well.
Yeah, their stall is dropping back a couple of places big time. Wonder if he's burnt his tyres out. As you said, we are in a lap at 11 with sub 30 to go, but has he chewed through them? Is he struggling to grip? You can see the cars are starting to get a little bit loosey-goosey now, Ewan, so I don't know. Something may be brewing soon.
Well, it's possible, but I would expect the tyres to be able to go a bit further than just 11 laps. Garcia again gets close to Stitchbury, looks to the inside, but can't make it work. I think there was a bit of side-by-side briefly there for 4th place just a moment ago. But Wenzel now ahead of Werrell, and of course ahead of De La Cruz and Tuller as well. Very much down on the low side of the yellow line there for Wenzel as he tries to gain some points back on Stitchbury, who is the new championship leader, of course, after a great round at Bristol. Take some points out of Wenzel, who got into some trouble under one of the cautions, which gave him a penalty that put him a couple of laps down in the end. It was very unfortunate for him indeed. There he is with Jack Werrell right behind him.
Yeah, Jack's got to decide where to put this car at the moment, Kenny. He has to put it somewhere. It's not going to be easy because, you know, that wall comes up and you climb up to it very, very easy. You're going to have 2 abreast, side by side up the road here. This is getting spicy dicey. 13 down, 28 to go there, Ewan.
Oh, Garcia goes through on Stitchbury and Wenzel will as well. Stitchbury sends it deep into turn number 1, but they all go high. Garcia should have the position. It's about whether Wenzel can follow him here in regards to the position, and no. Stitchbury gets into line, so he'll hang on to 3rd place at least as the 2 main contenders for this championship battle for 3rd and 4th. Here goes Jordan Wenzel to the inside of turn 2. On the low line, it's going to be Werrell who's going to try and get amongst this. Surely he can't make it 3 wide. Instead, he's going to push Wenzel, who's on the inside here. There's not been much joy of the inside of turn 3, to be honest. It's given you a pretty poor run generally onto the front straight, and Wenzel gets loose. He's going to be hit around. And Jordan Wenzel goes into the pit lane. Oh, goodness me. Jordan Wenzel, 2nd place in the points with a disaster.
It shouldn't call a caution, I think. It should not call a caution. No. And he's obviously now you're going to have to take a pit road. You have to do a pit. I don't know if he got a speeding violation on that one because he was in there at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We'll find out whether or not he gets that one. But wow, he's lucky to see another day. You don't want to be getting a couple laps down considering how good this green flag racing has been so far. That was pretty impressive, I'd have to say, for a second.
That was impressive, but Surely we'll have a pit lane penalty to serve.
well.
There he goes now. 14 to... Oh, no, I think he got it slowed down in time.
This
Well,
could
that's
be an
remarkable.
advantage right now. If there's a bit of beef and it all goes pear-shaped, you might have an opportunity to get those positions back. Of course, Tim Perry might even have a pit stop at hand. There he is up the road. Oh, I mean, yeah, give or take. Remember, it's not Formula 1 pit stops, but still, he's going to be looking pretty good when they do head down pit road.
Well, the advantage for Wenzel is the fact that he's still on the lead lap. So even if there's a caution here, which he will really be hoping for now, I suppose, then he'll be able to get back on the lead lap again and be able to get back to these guys. And what a fantastic battle we've seen so far for second position. It's been very engaging between these. Well, it was 6 previously, now just the 5 of them. But I think it was Jack Werrell who signed the final blow, wasn't it? It was Wenzel who was getting a little bit loose already on the low line of turn 3, and this is why they enter like they do. Look at the line they're entering with, the fact that Werrell's the only one on the yellow line, and in fact Garcia didn't actually go anywhere near the yellow line. Ditchbury didn't either, really, because the lower you get there, the looser it gets. As Tim Perry's in.
Yep. Sorry to cut you off on that one. So he's taking the early pit stop. Now, he has the advantage because he has such time up his sleeve. Of course, the disadvantage will be if it goes pole shape right now. Well, it will actually advantage to him if they do go caution. And they may. So, you know what? I wasn't too far away from the amount of laps that they've had. But when you have to visit the old pit road.
This is lively now for the lead. Garcia ahead of Stitchbury, who tried to take that off him. Werrell's trying to go through, and Stitchbury, oh my goodness. Stitchbury and Werrell have avoided calamity there by mere millimetres. Tuller and De La Cruz go side by side as well through the final turn. De La Cruz with the nicer line here, and he might have the position too. It's a good run out of the corner, and De La Cruz will get that position up to 4th place, but Jack Werrell gets through with an aggressive move.
Yeah, and just like that, Tim, remember on your track map is currently that 17th place that you can see as the drivers are entering turn 1, the rest of it. So, I mean, he knows that they always have to go down pit road. He's got clean air up the road. Just drive it like you need to drive it. Get the job done. As the rest of this field are battling tooth and nail there. Who's going to jump into pit road next to you, feel there, Ewan?
Well, I don't know who's going to come in next, and if they are going to at all. Jordan Wenzel on the last lap did a 53.6. These guys were in the mid-53s as well. There's not actually that much advantage to coming into pit lane right now, so I'm not sure they will come in, but will the caution force their hand before they even get the opportunity here? You get the feeling that there might well be one soon. Garcia lost the lead through turn 1 to Jack Werrell on that lap, and then got it back again. Stitchbury followed him through, and he's now going for the lead as the Welshman. Down the inside and towards turn 1, and Jan Stitchbury is going to be through on the inside, and he's going to be in the lead.
Yeah, he timed that perfectly. Went up high and then just smooth in, smooth out. Got the job done. Takes it back from Garcia, and Garcia may be thinking, well, what you can do, I can also do better, but also depends on the tyres and how he's taking care of them. Remember, he's got a couple of drivers like this man, Jack, also hunting behind it, and Sergio. So let's see. And, of course, well, there it is side by side, actually. Sorry, I had to switch cameras away. Don't forget about Thor there, lurking in the background. So 5 cars battling for the lead of this race. Stitchbury under attack again.
He is side by side for the lead with Garcia on the front straight, and then Werrell just in behind as well, not in an orange car particularly, in the darker livery in 3rd place, just watching this battle in front as we approach the halfway mark of this race. By the way, already it's been good racing here at Pocono. I'm not normally a fan of racing around here actually in NASCARs, but it's provided fantastic entertainment so far tonight, and Garcia does still now lead, and there'll be single file. Further behind, Mikey Pollard and Kim Andre Bjorklund are fighting for 6th position. That's Pollard who's just gotten through into that place in the 73 car.
Yeah, getting the job done there for him. Good on him. 6 positions gained from Jack now, remember, but that's taken away the fact that Tim has already boxed. And Jordan as well too in that mistake, so really he's gained 4. But on the track currently at the moment, if you don't have to make a pit stop, you have gained 6. The 65 machine. He's been aggressive. He's wanting to get some overtakes done. Stitcher is going to be very hard to get past, of course, our championship leader. But let's see, running on board, Jack. Can he get it done, my friend? Fourth gear.
See if he can. John Wenzel, by the way, still not really able to go any quicker than these guys at the moment. A 53.3 on the last lap from Garcia. It was a 53.5 from Wenzel. He was actually 2 tenths slower. Really does make me wonder, by the way, what Tim Perry was doing by pitting in, because he's off the back of the field right now as well, kind of hoping for a caution in the same way that Wenzel is, but I don't see how they're going to make up places, even if there is one. Either they stay out for the track position and deal with the older tyres, or they come in with everybody else and have to overtake 18 cars to win the race. They've got a real conundrum there. Out of the final corner go the leaders all over again. The field's staying very close together, and thankfully we've stayed clean and green so far. We've only had one notable incident, and that was, of course, when Jordan Wenzel was sent down to pit lane.
You called it, Ewan. Clean and green. Well, we've had clean and green really for most of the season, haven't we, with these drivers, which is absolutely fantastic. They're very, very, very skilled at wheel-to-wheel door-banging racing. That's what we love to see. I mean, granted, we do love caution every once in a while. It does definitely spreads the entertainment, but not 50 let's say not 10 cautions or more, like I had to do the other night as well too. About 3, and it'd be a 4-hour race I did for another league. I was like, at that point, it's like, okay, it's too much, gentlemen, it's too much. Come on.
Yeah.
Clean and green sometimes.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, we did have quite a few yellow flags at Charlotte. I know you didn't broadcast that one, but with us for round 2, but we did have quite a few there. And the end of the Daytona race was a little bit stop-start, but it was not bad at all.
Somebody's blinking.
All things considered.
Sorry.
And most of the season actually hasn't been too bad. People were pleasantly surprised actually by Bristol 2 weeks ago. People thought it was really going to be a lot of cautions, but in the end the race was done in about 40 minutes or so. It was a remarkable race and a very entertaining one too.
And it throws your strategy out the door, isn't it? Because once again, if we were expecting, or other people were expecting it to be a little bit more of a caution fest, drivers would be like, all right, well, I'm planning on, taking these tyres to a certain distance and so forth, and we'll do that. And of course, thinking there's yellows, and when there isn't a yellow, well, you're in a bit of trouble, aren't you? Because if you burnt through those boots, you're in trouble.
You are, but how quickly are they doing that at the moment? I still don't feel like they're doing it very quickly. They're still in the mid 53s, which is not that much slower than the best lap of the race. Only Tim Perry is really catching these guys. Jordan Wenzel still seems to be struggling a little bit out there at the moment. Not sure why. I think he might just be struggling with the fact he's on his own out there on the circuit. Is this the day where he really loses out in the championship? Just 7 points behind Stitchbury coming into today, but it could be a whole few more points at the end of this one if he's not too careful. Garcia, by the way, not really involved in the title fight. He's down in 12th place in the points. Jack Werrell, I think, missed the first race, didn't he? Which has given him a bit of a disadvantage. He's 11th in the point standings. De La Cruz is down in 6th place, but over 30 points back from Stitchbury. So, as I said at the start of the broadcast, it really is between those front 3. And of course, we haven't quite factored in the drop week just yet, which we will start to do for the final round of the championship, just so that we really know where everybody is. But it's certainly becoming Stitchbury's to lose now with 17 to go at Pocono.
Yeah, and he's comfortable at the moment sitting by Garcia. We had a little bit of a squabble with Garcia. So he goes up the high line right now. 65's going to try to send up the inside. That's Jack. 3 abreast here, Ewan. Here we go. You wanted it.
Close to 3 wide. De La Cruz couldn't quite get there, but Werrell did, and he's on the inside now of turn 2. Stitchbury with a good run out the corner, as he so often gets in the slipstream as well. Dives it deep into turn 2. Will he be afforded the room? He will, and so hangs on to second place all over again. He's proved to be quite difficult to overtake so far.
Clever, isn't he, in the way he's parking his car, he's positioning his car in a great spot. He just knows exactly. He's comfortable with the entry. He's comfortable with the exit. You don't see it wiggle. We did think he had a little bit of a tank slapper, but it obviously has not affected his car, not affected the performance of the car. So he's looking good. I'm still curious, of course, why Tim took that pit stop so early. There's poor Tim all the way back here. He's all alone, the 83 machine. He has to do something. Another battle brewing here at the moment. A little bit further down here there, Ewan. Oh, this could get nasty.
Oh, contact between Clark and Bjorklund. Poor Clark getting into the 89 car through turn 1. And this is the most lively battle on the circuit right now, by the way. The leaders are being a bit nice to each other. These guys in 7th place on backwards. Certainly not. They're going for it. Into turn 2 again they will go. This is the battle from 7th place down to 11th. and it's all very close to those. Stitchbury's now alongside for the lead. I'm not sure how he's managed it into the final corner, actually, but he has maybe got the lead here. Garcia has clearly made a mistake somewhere, because that was not on the cards. I certainly wasn't expecting that. And with 14 to go, the championship leader is back in the race lead.
Well, look at that. Jack's had to lift off big time here. He's got so much power. He's had to drop it out of fourth gear, as he's going to see that. Look, once again, Stitchbury likes it up near that fence, doesn't he? And then he comes back across the track there, sits there, blocks very, very well. Now the battle brewing behind them. You can see those top 5 cars at the moment there, Ewan, all going for it tooth and nail. We still don't know whether or not they're going to have to go to pit stops or not. 15 laps to go, as you said. Keep an eye on those times as to what Tim and Jordan that boxed early. The only 2 drivers that are boxed. They're not really throwing any great numbers up at the moment.
No. It's looking okay in that respect. Out of the final corner, Stitchbury leading the group. So it'll be 14 to go this time. Not sure why the graphics were so eager last lap. Kept showing us 15 to go very quickly. 14 to go this time around. And what a clean and green race we've seen for the first 2/3. Fantastic racing here at Pocono so far, but you just begin to wonder whether Stitchbury is stretching his legs now and starting to reach out for the race win, because Garcia has been overtaken, and now there's a quarter of a second between him and Stitchbury. That gap needs to be closed, or at least make sure it doesn't get too much bigger before it gets out of control and Stitchbury gets away with the race lead.
Yeah, and when Stitchbury gets away, Stitchbury gets away. So, Mac Barnes has gone into pit road. Pat's gone into pit road. Ooh. Oh, sorry, it looked like that angle looked like he was dinged up a little bit, my friend. But no, they're going to pit road. So it's going to be interesting. We are seeing drivers now going in pit road.
Yeah, we are. But
14 to go, but I mean, it's worth a gamble, isn't it, staying out?
I mean, I don't know. I think they can make it on fuel, which is maybe what these guys up front are hoping for. There was a bit of contact, by the way, in the back for 4th place between De La Cruz and Tuller. And I think the only thing forcing these guys into pit lane at this point is going to be a caution, because only 4 out of the 18 drivers have been in, and I don't think they've been scheduled for many of those drivers at all. Now then, side by side briefly as De La Cruz looked alongside Werrell, who's just going to push Garcia into line. He really wants to make sure Stitchbury doesn't get too far away.
Yeah, Stitchbury is starting to get that. We saw that once again from Tim Perry. We went right up the road there, having start the race from P1. He had nobody challenging him. Stitchbury is probably the closest person that got to challenge him, but he didn't get a chance. Stitchbury was more mirror driving than he was driving forward. Once again, he has to do mirror driving. Garcia's really been the only one that's been able to find a way past Stitchbury at this point. Stitchbury, of course, found his way back again. 13 to go there, Ewan.
Yep, it's going to be at the end of another lap here at Pocono. Still 5 for the lead. By the way, Pat Seaborn is still in pit lane, and Mac Barnes spent nearly a minute in there. So I'm not sure what happened to those two, but it feels like something may have done, because they're a long way back. Barnes will have to take the lucky dog if there is a caution, and he'll certainly be hoping that there is one for the end of the day. On board with Garcia we go now, as he's trying to take his 2nd race win in 2 rounds. What a great win it was for him at Bristol, as he hung on right at the very end in the midst of lap traffic and a real onslaught from behind. He managed to hang on for the win. Can he do it again here? Can he overtake Stitchbury maybe to take his 2nd win in 2 rounds?
Yes, going to try everything he can soon with 12 to go. When you get down to 10 and under, it's business time for sure. That's when you're in your business socks, right? It's business time. As Brickley Motorsports that says, so let's go Poland. Poland, of course, Mickey right there. Pollard, sorry, my apologies. He's gained 4 positions, 73 machine. A little bit lonely, unfortunately, there. Hello, Mikey, give us a wave. No, don't give us a wave. Don't take your hands off the steering wheel. You could be in it to win it, because if these drivers get into a little bit of a tango, of course, you could be just passing them all by and take the race win. Hey, anything can happen in NASCAR.
Yeah, it can. Pat Seaborn's back out the pit lane, by the way. He's 2 laps down and really hoping for madness at the end of this race. Into turn 2 again. Garcia a bit wide there. Will Werrell fancy a go into the final turn? It's starting to get to that point where we're going to see some moves made. And De La Cruz knows that too. He's very close in the 7 car through turn 3. It's a good run for Garcia though. Stitchbury a little bit narrow off the exit there. Maybe not the exit that he was hoping for, but as long as he camps up high there through turn 1, he seems to be fine, does Stitchbury. As long as he hangs on to that outside line, he seems to hang on to the lead every time, and Garcia right behind him doesn't even challenge him into turn 1 again.
I think Jack is really pushing this machine. He's the only one you can see out of that pack that the rear rod's getting really loosey-goosey on. That means he's hitting that hitting that loud pedal a little bit louder than the rest of the car. Seeing the rev limiter as well too, completely on that one. So Jack's 6 positions gained. Remember, he's the most aggressive driver, the most overtaking. Oh, what's happened?
Sorry, very tight there for Werrell. He very nearly smacked the wall. I thought he was going to go straight on into the wall actually at turn 2 there, which is why I got excited, but he didn't. And he's held on to 3rd place, but it shows you we're getting towards the end of the race, and these tyres are looking second hand now, really, aren't they? Because they've been out there clean and green for the entire time, and it does mean they're chewing through the tyres.
No refunds, my friend. Return to sender on these boots. They are going to be in big trouble. These drivers are set a little bit loosey because one person we do know is very good at his tyres towards the end of a race. He manages so well. He's just a smooth operator, Carlos Sainz kind of thing. Well, just there. He's going to hold off here. I mean, a race win's going to be awesome for him. He's going to be so glad on that one because, championship hopes are very much one more hand on the trophy at this point, isn't it? If he can win this one.
Maybe, although Tuller is right there, and you do wonder what he's been saving and holding back there in the 90 car. He's been hanging back in 5th place, just not doing a whole lot. Now into turn 3 again for the leaders, and Mikey Pollard is getting pretty close to these guys as well. He's in 6th place in the 73 car. Maybe he's got a shout of a race win here, but with only 8 to go, he's running out of time. He needs to catch them quickly.
Yeah, he does. And of course, Tim Perry's in P15 now currently at this point, so that pit stop is just painful. The race leader, who had a huge gap, remember, he would have been probably halfway through the track right now on that lead, but we don't know why he went in the pit road. If he had a tank slapper against the wall or something like that we didn't capture. Nothing from race control, but 8 to go.
There'll be 7 at the line for Stitchbury to hang on. These guys can make it on fuel. A stint around here is about 40 laps, as it turns out, so from my experience anyway. So they should be able to do this on 1 tank of fuel and 1 set of tyres. If this was a race that saw a lot of cautions, then maybe there would be a few more in the way of pit stops. Now De La Cruz goes for it to the inside, looking for 3rd position. The moves have been absent actually from the last few laps, but De La Cruz is now looking for this. He's on the inside of Jack Werrell. He's just not going to have the exit that he needs off of turn 1 here. Coming off the banking from the top, Werrell's going to hang on to 3rd place.
I got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. I got a feeling actually that somebody is going to go for a bold and brave move, and there's not going to be if-gap car, and there may much very be a contact, and there may very much be a late caution here. We know that a few drivers out in the back there are praying for this one, and if you're Stitchbury, you're not praying for it. You're Stitchbury, you're praying to see 6 or so more of those laps, and Barney.
Yeah, we're counting those laps down now as into the pit lane comes Mark Werrell. Mark Werrell's into pit lane, so maybe he can't make it on fuel. Maybe these guys are going to be struggling in terms of fuel, and maybe that's why they've been sticking behind Stitchbury for so long. Have there been fuel games going on here at Pocono? Have they been worrying about that? Because it is, of course, a long way around here, 100 miles tonight. Can they make it all the way around this racetrack without actually making a stop all day long? Perry is 20 seconds behind them, by the way. Not really sure, once again, why he came in so early, but maybe there were fuel concerns there. Here we are back with the second group on the road. They're all trying to catch these guys. Mikey Pollard pretty much has done. He's just over a second now behind Stitchbury for the lead.
Yes, and he needs to get into this pack, and it's going to be interesting to see if anybody's actually going to be lifted. You can't really... Stitchbury, by very mistake here from our championship leader. Garcia has to take an opportunity on this one to seize it.
He does, but no, he can't get through, or doesn't want to. Not sure which, but he doesn't go for it into turn 1, even with 5 to go. Surely that suggests there are some games going on at the moment with fuel saving, and the fact that Garcia maybe wants to preserve the slipstream. He wants to wait for a later lap to try and make this overtake.
I think that would be about go on board at the moment and see here. You can, can't you? Because you've got the slipstream. Look at that. 5th gear. Can eases the throttle back off a little bit. Don't want to lose the slipstream. Of course, remember, he's got Jack, he's got Sergio, he's got Thor a little bit further down. Let's have a listen Oh, and that's the worst thing, isn't it? Have a little blink of death up the road from you.
It is. Just, what stays in 5th gear through turn 3, which some people just seem to like for a little bit of traction, but the fuel save will be nice there too. Now, let's listen into this. Is there a dip in the revs here as they get towards the end of the straight? There is. There's a dip in the revs there. You can see it just hovering around 8,000, where it should continue to increase into turn 1. There are fuel games going on here for sure, and there's a bit of waiting around with 4 to go here at Pocono. Not long at all. Can everybody make it? Paul Clark can't. He's into
Paul
pit
Clark's
lane.
in. Yeah, Paul Clark's in as well. So this is it. This is going to be, you're on crunch time at this one. I would not be surprised, Ewan, if somebody's making a run the back route, if somebody doesn't run out of gasoline towards the end of this race.
Absolutely. That could be the big moment in this one. We're now in the 54s out on the circuit. That's how slow we're going around here. Tim Perry only 18 seconds behind these guys, despite the fact he's made a pit stop today. What a remarkable race it's been. De La Cruz looking for a run out the final turn. Werrell, the one right in front of him at the moment. And here goes Garcia. Now, is it the moment? Is this the moment to try and take the win for Garcia? He's in the 15 cog looking for the inside line. And Stitchbury, having led them around the whole race, is now being challenged for the first time in quite a while. He sent it into turn 1. Very much on the high line, maybe too high. And he's going to be level with Garcia off the turn.
Stitchbury's liking the high line. He wants, if you've got to overtake me, it's got to be on the inside, and he's managing that high line. It just feels like all of a sudden you've got it done on Stitchbury, but no, you haven't yet. Garcia has to work for this. 2 for nail here. 3 to go.
3 laps left now. 2 at the line. Turn 3 coming up into the corner. They go. Garcia just pushes up from the yellow line there. Can't quite stay as low as he once could. These old tyres very much rearing their ugly head now. That was close to the wall as well for Werrell as he's looking for a run. He's probably got the best run of anybody. Stitchbury defends the inside almost here. Slightly odd given that he's had so much joy on the outside, but Garcia is more than willing to go up high now. It's De La Cruz who's down the inside of absolutely everybody, and is that going to pay dividends for him? Well, not quite. Garcia will get back ahead of him, and Werrell is going to draft past again too.
Look at Cruz. Unfortunately, he's not cruising in the right direction. Unless he can get a little side draft toe at the moment, that situation is looking good. I think these other two have to work together. They have to work together.
Oh, and Garcia got the run. Here he goes into the final turn of the penultimate lap of this race. It's going to be all on between these two now. Stitchbury versus Garcia into turn 3 at Pocono. Garcia drifts up wide. Goodness me, that was close. Stitchbury gets the run. The white flag is shown. This race is official, and we've got 1 lap to go.
He's got to hold on, the championship leader, and he has been holding on so good. 2 drivers heading to the pit road as well. Thor's gone in there. Vanguard's gone in there. And he's got a little bit of a gap now to Garcia. I don't think Garcia has enough time here. He's only got a couple of corners to get it done. And as long as he doesn't completely run out of gasoline, as other drivers seem to be right now there, call this one.
This could be a close finish between these two. Stitchbury, I reckon, is very much teetering on the edge of running out of fuel here. Garcia is in the green. He's okay. He can go for this into the final turn. It's going to be all on here for round 4 of the Super Series. Stitchbury defends to the inside, just tries to shorten the distance as much as he possibly can because he's not got much fuel left, I don't think. Garcia's going to run around the outside, look for the run off the corner. Coming to the flag. Jan Stitchbury's going to win the race by the barest of margins, ahead of Garcia, who's denied going back-to-back. The championship leader, Stitchbury, wins at Pocono in a clean and green classic in round 4 of the Super Series.
Wow, wow, wow. All the way from the start to the end. And remember, he was P2, held on, got it under attack there, had to yield a couple of positions. But the man's got it done. The championship leader's got a hell of more points up there. It's going to be very difficult for the rest of them. Garcia, of course. What a challenge there. And still other drivers down the pit road. And hopefully everybody can let us know too, as well as the drivers, as to why those early pit stops occurred. Tim Perry next ended up finished in P8. We'll get those results for you in a second anyway.
Yeah.
There you are.
I guess it's fuel related, isn't it? Perry didn't want to save fuel. Instead, drove at full speed. Pitted, assuming, I guess, that there was going to be a yellow flag at some point throughout that one. But there wasn't. It was a clean and green race. And it was an entertaining one here at Pocono as well. Jan Stitchbury's going to enjoy his donuts, so maybe he'll do. Well, he could. He's not running out that much fuel.
Hasn't got enough fuel to do them. No,
he's done another 2.5 miles and more now,
yeah,
and now he's going to burn it down as well. So clearly not that tight on fuel. There was a lot of waiting around going on earlier on, but it might not have all been fuel related. Although I think he is starting to. Yeah, there we go. He's out now.
It's out.
He was starting to cough there as he started to do his donuts, and so that's all you're getting here tonight, because Stitchbury is out of fuel. But the important thing is he's got the win, just a 1/10 of a second in the end ahead of Garcia. De La Cruz had to back off there in the end to make it. So did Jack Werrell, and Kim Andre Björklund saved early on to come in 5th position. It was Showboy Mel Sickfed, Carl Jacquelet, and then the first of those who pitted, Tim Perry, who couldn't quite get there in time. Mikey Pollard was 9th place ahead of Thor Tuller. It was Paul Clark 11th ahead of Mark Werrell. Jordan Wenzel never really had the pace after his pit stop, unfortunately, and the incident that he had, of course, as well. Biggles and Lear finished 1 lap down, along with Jason Hale, Mac Barnes, and Stuart Pearson, who were all a lap down, and Pat Seaborn, who was 2 laps down. But pleased to say that we got all 18 cars to the flag.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at the end of the day, isn't it? Seeing the checkered flag is the flag that you want to see, as you've got those that information up there on the screen. Quick short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon.
Welcome back to Pocono for post-race coverage after round 4 of the NASCAR Super Series here tonight. Jan Stitchbury, the winner by just over a 1/10 of a second in the end, and we can chat to him now. Welcome in, Jan. Good to have you with us. A great race, I've got to say. A clean and green race for 40 laps as well. Thoroughly enjoyable to watch. First of all, tell us your expectations at the start of the day. Did you expect this race to go all the way with no cautions?
Well, honestly not. No, I mean, compared to Bristol last week, I was expecting it to be a little bit cleaner, but we know how difficult Pocono is, and I was expecting a couple of wrecks. It looked like there were a couple of crashes behind, but the yellow didn't come out, so we kept on trucking.
There were lots of pit stops behind you, and there was what appeared to me as a bit of fuel saving going on in the front group, and you ran out of fuel during your donuts as well. But clearly you made a cool down lap, so you weren't that close on fuel. Just what were the concerns like, and how much fuel saving did you have to do, if any, around here to make it 40 laps?
Oh, at the race start, it said I had 37 laps of fuel, so I knew that if it stayed green all the way, it was going to be a tough job. But once I got to the front, you were kind of chilling, me and Alvaro. We sort of swapped places a couple of times. I'd follow him, he'd follow me. When I was at the front, I was basically holding 70% throttle. The pace of the field slowed right down, but the top 5 seemed to understand what we were all doing.
Yeah, it eventually calmed down. And then that final lap, did you believe fully that you were going to hang on? Because you were challenged very hard on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, I think we were talking a little bit in the voice chat, saying, let's just chill, we'll break away. The last 5 laps, then we can fight for it. Alvaro put in a good fight. He almost got me right at the end, but I think I just had enough grip around the outside to hold on to position, and then I think he was running out of fuel over the line, so I think it was just about safe.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. It was a great race to watch, and of course extends your lead in the championship as well. Look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Thanks very much. Jan Stitchbury there, the winner tonight at Pocono in the NASCAR Super Series, just ahead of Alvaro Vasquez Garcia, who can also join us now. Welcome in, Alvaro. Good to have you with us. Just how close do you feel you were to winning that race?
Like 10 laps to go, Ewan was saving a lot of fuel, and I thought, wow, this man is not going to make it. And I started saving behind him. But in the end, when I launched the attack, I think he had plenty of fuel to fight, and I didn't have a chance, a real chance, like 3 laps to go.
Well, it was a very close finish in the end. I mean, you were very close to going back to back as well. What were you expecting from Pocono? Because got to say, I wasn't particularly enthused by the fact this was on the calendar. It's not normally one of my favourite NASCAR races, but I thoroughly enjoyed the racing that we saw tonight. How was it from your perspective?
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite tracks either, but it's quite unique, and it's like the road guys, I think, do better in this kind of tracks, and in the end, I'm a road guy, so I expect it to do well. And when Jordan, I don't know what happened with Jordan. I think he had a crash. Also, the leader went into the pits. I don't know why still. And I thought, well, maybe I can win this race. But then, I don't know. I couldn't have a chance at the end.
Well, it wasn't quite to be in the end. Alvaro, thanks for coming to chat to us again, and congratulations on second place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alvaro Vasquez Garcia there chatting to us at the end of tonight's racing at Pocono. Sergio Martinez de la Cruz finished in third, and we can chat to him now too. Welcome in, Sergio. Good to have you with us. I mean, at third place for you in the end, and you did just drop off by a second or so in the end, and quite a few cars actually dropped off from what was a 6-car group at one time. Were you struggling a little bit on fuel at the end there?
Good evening, guys. So no, at the end, I think I was. So I didn't know how to approach this race. To be honest, I didn't know if I had to save a lot of fuel, what the best line would be, if I had to save a lot of tires. But so at the end, I finished with a liter and a bit. So yeah, I had enough fuel. But when I tried to, so I was P4 with 2 laps to go. I tried to pass Jack, and yeah, we were too close. We had to lift both of us, and we lost that half a second or that we couldn't. So I couldn't fight for the win. I'm not sure if I would have the tires to do that anyway. So yeah, I'm happy with third.
It was an entertaining race, I've got to say. What were you expecting from tonight in terms of racing?
As I said, I wasn't sure what to expect. My plan was I will just try to stay in the lead group, but not at the front. So I was happy being P4, P5. Although it became a bit tricky at the middle of the race when Ewan was saving a lot of fuel, and then there was a bit of a concertina effect at some point, and I almost ran into the car in front. But yeah, I was expecting honestly to have a few yellows, because it's not like, even it's much bigger than Bristol, lines tend to mix. If you go to the inside, it's a bit faster, but then your exit is very bad. So I was thinking we will have a lot of crashes, but everybody behaved very, very well. So yeah, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, it was good in terms of racing for sure. Congratulations on a podium here tonight, Sergio, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Thanks very much.
Or in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks, absolutely. Sergio Martinez de la Cruz, third place here tonight. And our biggest mover forward tonight was Carl Jacqueline, who we can also chat to now. Welcome in, Carl. Good to have you with us. You just hung on from Tim Perry at the end there. How was the end of your race? Because we didn't quite see you towards the finish.
It spluttered over the line as it ran out of fuel. Judged it to absolute perfection, although the last lap was a bit on the slow side. Had I realised earlier in the race, I could have saved a bit more fuel. But hey, I did come from 15th at one point, I think it was. I think it was about 3 seconds to the car in front, which was quite a fight to bring that gap down. So I had no draft the entire race. So to get there on one tank full, I was very fortunate.
It was certainly a struggle for most to get it to the end of the race on just one tank of fuel. What are you expecting from Indianapolis in 2 weeks' time? Because in my mind, the circuits are somewhat similar, pretty flat turns, pretty big racetrack, but obviously nothing like the super speedways. So what are you expecting?
I'm hoping to do quite well. All the turns at Indy are a bit like turn 2 on this one, and I was quite a lot quicker than the cars in front of me through that turn. So hoping for good things.
Maybe that is a good sign. Congratulations on going the biggest mover forward tonight, Carl. 7 places move forward to
Awesome.
7th position. And thanks for coming to chat to us tonight as well.
Excellent. I'm really pleased with that. It's been a good night. Really, really enjoyed it.
Certainly has. Thanks for chatting to us, Carl Jacqueline. 7th place here tonight at Pocono. Well, that will just about do it for us tonight. Biggles, I've got to say, thoroughly enjoyed that. Considering it's Pocono, not one of my favourite NASCAR tracks, it really provided with a grandstand finish. And that's another one to add to our list now. Great end to the race at Daytona with race going on to the very last laps. Bristol 2 weeks ago was one of those that went down to the wire. And we've seen another one here as well. This series delivered in terms of close finishes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, isn't it? It's another fantastic racing with no cautions. That's what it's all about. No cautions, of course. A little bit of a spin into pit road. That was Mark, who finished in P12. Lucky to get away with that one. We still don't know why. Of course, if you want to know why, please join the Discord channel to ask Tim Perry himself as to why he took that pit stop quite early, as the rest of the drivers didn't. We do have a few other drivers, of course, take a trip down to pit road. Actually, it shows me that Tim went to pit road twice, but I'm not quite sure about that one. But everybody who finished from P10 down to P18 had to visit pit road. But none of the drivers like Stitchberry and Garcia, and you heard from those drivers as well too. They're running on vapors. Some of them, not all of them. But yeah, what a cracker of a race.
Yeah, fantastic racing. Join us again in 2 weeks' time. It'll be more of the same from Indianapolis here in the JPB NASCAR Super Series. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can catch all the other great racing that goes on here on the JPB YouTube channel. But for now, from myself, Ewan O'Leary, Tim Biggles alongside me, we will see you in a couple of weeks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's goodbye for now.